Hey guys, with it having been a hot minute since I've made a pickups video, I thought as well as going through everything I bought in the most recent gaming market, I'd go through everything I bought overall since the last video. Why don't we start with the gaming market purchases? This segment won't be that long because, well, there was only one purchase this time, and it is Locoroco on the PSP. I recently played the remaster of this game on the PS5 and I just adored its positivity, both in terms of gameplay and music. With its unique mechanics where you can tip the floor so the Locoroco can fall in your desired direction, I had to get it physically. Now you'd notice that I got the PSP Essentials version, and while I'd prefer it to be the original Black Label version, I'd rather the actual game itself be in good condition, and with this being a sealed copy, as you can see the seal is on there, and getting it for a discount, it was originally £15 and I got it for 12. I thought it was a reasonable deal. I'm willing to go a bit over its market value just because it's sealed really. I don't keep games sealed, but just so I know the game, the disc, the UMD itself will be in good condition when I do use it. I don't do it for every game. It's literally how much higher the value of the sealed game is compared to the unsealed game. Just because UMDs get scratched easily, like so easily. And this one's just going to be in immaculate condition. And I'm well chuffed about that. Up next we have some more modern games, Sekiro and Elden Ring. After having beaten my first From Software game in Bloodborne, I thought I'd double or triple dip. Despite being nervous about what those games have to offer me, I'm quietly excited about the possibilities and the sheer elation you get from beating a boss. Prey looked like a solid pickup at £4, but to be honest, I have no idea to expect from both that and PS3 anime-style 2D fighting game Blazblue. I may or may not have mentioned before, I suck at fighting games. People out here sweating out wins online while I'm out here just for a good time, either solo or versus a friend. Not that I have much of those. A day one pickup for me was God of War Ragnarok. That was such an emotional roller coaster. That whole adventure was just a perfect, near perfect follow-up to 2018's Game of the Year, and I really can't wait to see what's next for the franchise, both with Atreus and Kratos. Immaculate experience. And while there was a bit of a lull in the middle, I thought the beginning and the ending was just chef's kiss. And you may have seen a video on the channel on whether it's finally time to buy a PS5. Well, as soon as I bought that baby, I kinda splurged a whole load of cash on a whole bunch of PS5 games from Amazon. I've already played DMC5 and Valhalla. Out of the new games, thus far I've only played Until Dawn's spiritual successor, The Quarry. And despite its fairly mixed reviews, I thought it was very enjoyable. A lot more so than those crappy anthology games they do. Even though the ending does slightly fall flat, the characters and the story is quality and certainly lives up to its predecessor. Something you may notice about my PS5 purchases: no Hogwarts Legacy. The reason for that is a group on Twitter known as Does It Play. These guys I've mentioned on my channel before, they do the Lord's work. For people who actually like getting physical media and value its preservation, it's good to know whether the actual game can be played with the on-disc build, and they help with that. Does It Play made it clear that Hogwarts Legacy can't be played beyond the tutorial without a hefty day one patch. While I'm probably going to be getting it anyway, I'm going to wait to see if they release a Game of the Year or definitive editions where all the DLC and patches are on disc, so there's no mandatory downloads. Either that or I'll be getting it super cheap. Some of my more recent PS5 pickups: the Dead Space remake. Pretty self-explanatory, a remake of one of the best survival horror games ever. Pathless, which I'm not really sure what to expect, but the art style and the traversal looks fun. And Evil West. This is the only one of the trio I've played. I completed it and sold it. While I actually enjoyed the game for its combat, the story was trash and riddled with game-breaking bugs. So kinda similar to the Callisto Protocol, I beat it and sold it. Another PS4 pickup was Metal Gear Solid 5 The Definitive Edition. This version has all the DLC on disc, no download required. I ordered this from Amazon expecting a PlayStation Hits version. Luckily not. Now Metal Gear Solid is not a series I've delved into yet, but I know it's such a legendary series for the PlayStation. But with all of these Silent Hill announcements and remakes coming out, surely there's an MGS remake coming out at some point. Rage 2. Picked it up for no other reason than it looked like mindless first-person shooting fun. I bought it brand new and it was cheap as heck, so it felt like a no-brainer to me. Similar for Final Fantasy 15. Only recently starting to get into the series, played 7 Remake and adored the gameplay and characters. I love JRPGs, so I'm sure I'll get into the rest of the series at some point. I mean, you know what a time commitment RPGs are. Just look at how long it's taken me to play Skyrim on the channel. I mean, that includes filming and editing, but still, my point stands. And Sifu's a bit of a weird one. The game always looked fun to me. It's just the concept of roguelikes that don't appeal to me. It just feels like a waste of time. Anyway, I felt like I could give Sifu a try because it's on the shorter side, and from my research it seems like you can keep retrying levels until you complete it in as low age as possible, so it seems like a good place to start for the genre. Moving away from PlayStation, here are some DS titles I picked up from CEX. I've never played an Age of Empires game, but my older brother did as a kid. I've always been tempted to jump in at some point, but with me being a predominantly PlayStation and Nintendo player, I didn't have much of an in. It's now Xbox exclusive, so I'd have to go back to Age of Empires 2 on the PS2. While a lot of people praise this as the best in the series, I've heard that it's a dreadful port of the game and the controls are terrible. So I figured the DS title would control better with the stylus. And at £5, it felt like a no-brainer to me. Super Mario 64, not much to say. One of the most influential games of all time. A remake of the Nintendo 64 classic that was Mario's first foray into the 3D landscape. I've never been massive on Mario, not that I don't like platformers. Celeste, Spyro, Crash, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, Klonoa, even Shovel Knight, which I'm currently struggling to get through. But for some reason, excluding New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, it just doesn't gel with me. Even Odyssey didn't feel that special to me, which I know is criminal for me to say, but hey ho. Next we have a PS2 and PS3 game, starting with Gitaroo Man. Honestly, I have no idea about this game. I've not really tried many rhythm-based games, if any for that matter. Seeing as I already bought Parappa on the PlayStation Store, I thought I'd get this guy physically to have something different. As for Journey, I played it a while back when it was free on PlayStation Plus. Boy, was it an experience. I just really wanted the physical copy, I guess. Having recently finished Abzu, I kind of want to experience some of the older titles. They're just so peaceful and relaxing. Recently I bought some Switch games too. Astral Chain. I adore a lot of what Platinum do. Vanquish is one of the funnest, most underappreciated third-person shooters of all time. And Bayonetta's great too, so here's hoping Astral Chain lives up to that legacy. I bought Engage as my first Fire Emblem, mainly because I wanted a more authentic Fire Emblem game, as opposed to a Persona 5 like Three Houses was made out to be. Plus this way I won't feel the need to complete a Fire Emblem Warriors game to get the full story. And as for Cuphead, I'll probably lose all my hair over that game. Not that I have much left anyway. But Metroid Prime Remastered. I can't wait to get stuck into that game at some point. Another legendary game series I've yet to try, but I figured this being the first of the first-person Metroid games, it'd be a great starting off point. The only accessory pickup I made was a Wii Classic Controller for a measly £8 from CEX. While the controller itself isn't the best, I mainly bought it to be able to navigate the home screen and play Wii games without the Wiimote. This way the infrared sensor is pointless. It's great to be able to play GameCube games without having to use the infrared sensor just to navigate damn home screen. It's a bit annoying that there's no wire to charge it itself. You have to use the Wii Remote's battery power by connecting them using a wire. So you do use the Wii Remote, what you don't use is the motion sensors. On to the penultimate game, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Another one I don't know too much about, but from what I've seen it really gives off the vibe of a third-person Skyrim. But I don't know, I can really see myself getting bored of it, especially after having just gotten into Skyrim. I may need the dust to settle off a little bit before I long for a medieval RPG of this kind again. And finally, Mario Kart on the DS. I always wanted to play this game. I never got into the Mario Kart series, but I remember in primary school when we all used to bring our handhelds to school for toy day, my friends would all play it together. They always looked like they were having such fun while I was shiny hunting Pokemon, so I figured, let's see what the fuss is all about. Thanks so much for watching. These pickup videos aren't coming up that often, and quite frankly, that's because I'm running out of games I want to add to my collection. I'm not a hoarder. I've never been a hoarder. I get games I want to play at some point. I wouldn't be getting games to add to my collection just for the sake of it, so these videos may remain a bit sporadic, but if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more videos from me. See ya!